Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're looking at something you probably have in your pocket right now, but barely think about, the coin.
That's right. And we're going to get into how this tiny piece of metal didn't just help people buy things, it completely changed the course of human civilization.
So our mission for this deep dive is to track its evolution, right?
Exactly. We're looking at the technology, the core problems it solved, and the massive impact it had on culture, economics, everything.
Because before the coin, you were stuck. The whole system was just so inefficient. You're trying to figure out, how many sheep for one bag of grain. It's a nightmare.
It's a total mess, and the coin provided that single trusted unit of value.
And it wasn't just invented in one place. People all over the world figured this out on their own.
They did. If you look over in China, you have the copper cowrie way back in the 11th century BC.
The copper cowrie. So it was a metal version of a shell.
Precisely. They were already using natural cowrie shells, but they became too rare. So they made a metal version to solve the scarcity problem.
Okay, so that's the East. What about in the West? I know Lydia is a big part of this story.
A huge part. Around the 7th century BC, they create the first truly standardized coin in the West made from electrum.
Electrum. That's the gold and silver alloy, right?
Yeah, and that was the problem. It's a naturally occurring alloy, so the ratio of gold to silver was all over the place.
So it was unpredictable. One coin could be way more valuable than another.
Exactly. Its value was volatile, so how do you fix that?
I'm guessing that's where King Croesus comes in.
That's the moment. Around 550 BC, he does something radical. He stops using electrum and introduces the world's first bimetallic system.
Bimetallic.
Pure gold coins and pure silver coins, each with a precise, guaranteed weight. That move created stability and pretty much laid the foundation for Mediterranean finance.
Okay, so they figured out what to make them from. Now, how do you actually make millions of them? The technology must have been a huge challenge.
It was, and the East and West took completely different paths here. In China, their big innovation was something called the stacked casting mold.
Stacked casting?
Yeah, they'd stack up these clay or bronze molds and pour molten metal down a central channel. It was an incredibly efficient way to mass-produce coins early on.
But the West did something else entirely. They used a striking or hammering method.
They did. They'd carve a design onto a punch a die and then just hammer it onto a blank piece of metal.
And that solved a very specific problem, didn't it?
It solved the #1 security issue: clipping.
Clipping. You mean shaving bits of metal off the edges?
That's it. Since the coin's value was its weight, people would shave off tiny bits to steal the precious metal. The hammering method allowed them to create raised rim.
So if the rim was messed with, you knew it was a fake or had been devalued.
You got it. It was an early anti-counterfeiting measure.
And that manual, hammered approach lasted for centuries.
Yeah.
What pushed things toward mechanization?
Just this sheer demand. Speed. You see the first machines in the 16th century, then steam power in 1816, but the real jump, well, that's modern electric presses, post-1968.
And how fast are we talking?
We are talking about 850 coins a minute, an absolutely incredible leap in technical evolution.
The impact is just undeniable. Economically, it standardized value, cut down on transaction costs, and really built the market economy as we know it.
And it was always political. The power to mint a coin was a statement of sovereignty.
Like with Qin Shi Huang in China.
A perfect example. When he standardized the currency in 221 BC, he chose that design, the round coin with the square hole.
Which had a deeper meaning.
A very deep meaning. It symbolized the cosmology of heaven is round, earth is square, so every time you used a coin, you were holding a piece of state ideology.
Fascinating. But that ability to suddenly get rich, to sack up coins, that must have caused some social problems.
Oh, absolutely. It fueled the rise of a merchant class, which was great for social mobility, but it also made the gap between rich and poor way more obvious. It created new kinds of social tension.
A tension we are definitely still dealing with today.
We are. The coin is so much more than money. It's a tiny artifact that tells a story of power, of technology, and of history.
The whole shift from an agrarian world to an industrial one really rides on the back of the coin.
It couldn't have happened without it.
So here's something to think about. As we all move to digital wallets and tapping our phones to pay, what are we losing? What non-economic value does the physical feel, the sound, the actual weight of a coin still hold for us? It's a sensation that an electronic transaction just can't replicate.